welcome back to Retro Tech Toys. Today we're going to look at this. This is an interesting machine, honestly. I have had this for over a year. It was actually one of the first things that I bought to feature on the channel, and I don't know why, but I've held off until just now to show it to you guys. This, I know it looks like it's a word processor, so you would expect, it's got an ink cartridge and clearly you type on it and it prints, but it's a whole lot more than that, actually. It's a computer, kind of. So we're going to have a look at this and I'll show you what it does, and I'll show you the operating system, and we'll have a look at it. So let's get started. Okay, we're back. Now, this is the Brother Ensemble. It's the personal desktop publisher, PDP 300CJ. There aren't a lot of these on YouTube, and there haven't been. I mean, I've had this for over a year, and I'm constantly checking YouTube to see if people have done anything on this, and, it's just not really that popular a machine as far as having been featured on any channels. I don't know that it was very popular at all when it came out. One of the interesting things about this machine is that it was kind of sold as an all-in-one desktop publishing system. It's a word processor. You feed paper into it and you can type, and then you can print your paper out just like you would with an old-school typewriter or a word processor. But it's a little bit more interesting than that. Over here on the side, we have a disk drive, and it's not just a disk drive for saving stuff. You can actually put operating system disks in here, and it can read them and understand them. This actually runs GEOS Ensemble. That's why this is the Brother Ensemble unit. So it's a word processor, but it's also kind of a computer that's got a graphical GUI. This thing takes a modem. It can take a monitor. It takes a mouse. You can even plug a scanner into this thing. So it's really interesting. Let's go ahead and get a close-up of all the ports and the keyboard and all that good stuff, and then I'll turn it on and show it to you guys. Okay, so here's a close-up of the Brother Personal Desktop Publisher, or the PDP 300 if you will. My keyboard is missing a couple of keys. I bought it that way. I got this off of Facebook Marketplace for $25. It came with a big CRT, but the CRT was on its last legs when I bought it. It's since been recycled because it's done for. But this will take a VGA monitor. It has a VGA jack on the side, and you can run that right out to a typical CRT or an LCD that takes a VGA connection. If we flip it open here, you'll see that it takes an ink cartridge. These are the ink cartridges that it takes. This one's long since dried out. I'm not going to be able to print anything today, but surprisingly enough, if you feed paper through here, it will print. We just have to have a good ink cartridge. That's that, and it's got a back here that comes out that you can feed the paper in through. It's got a knob over here for feeding the paper in and locking it in and all that good stuff. And as you can see, we've got a pretty fully functional keyboard. There's no 10 key over here, but it works well enough. I actually like that for just, regular typing. It does a lot better for me than it would if it had a big number pad and extended out. Right here, if you take a look, here's the disk drive, and I believe that is a 720K 3.5 floppy. I could be wrong. It could be 1.44 megabytes, but I'm pretty sure it's 720K. There's not a lot happening around back. You've got a scanner port and a mouse port, so we can plug a regular PS2 mouse in here, and you can plug in a scanner. Now, around the side here, you have a power jack, which is a barrel plug. You've got your on and off toggle switch. You've got your VGA monitor port, and you have a modem port. So you can hook a modem up to this thing. I don't know what you'd use it for, perhaps retrieving documents off of a database. That could be what that was meant for. I honestly can't find a whole lot of documentation on this machine. But there it is. That is the Brother Ensemble. We've taken a tour around the whole device. What do you say we hook it up to my favorite tiny little monitor and have a look at it? All right, here we go. I flipped it on. We've got that hooked up. We've got our mouse hooked up. And I don't know if it showed it there, but when it boots up, it shows 700 and something K worth of memory. I don't know if that's 720 or 740. I didn't check, but it's got over 700K of system RAM. And as you can see there, it loaded into GEOS Ensemble. And we've got this whole main menu. So like I said, this is so much more than just a word processor. This thing is crazy. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and focus in more on the monitor so you can see what we're doing. So here we are. We're in the GEOS Ensemble main menu. And yes, it is 3:56 a.m. where I'm at right now. I stay up pretty late. This thing does keep time, so it's got a good battery inside of it. And we've got a file manager. And please keep in mind that this thing is really slow. So yeah, it does have somewhat of a file manager. I mean, because we are using GEOS Ensemble. And we have to have a disk in the drive. And I don't have a disk in the drive right now. And unfortunately, we're going to run into that problem with a lot of this stuff. So basically, we can do word processing as you'd expect, but I can't save without an Ensemble disk, and I do not have an Ensemble disk. I did download a version of Ensemble, and I have not copied it to floppy yet. So when I do that, I'm going to come back and we'll update and see if those actually work. And if they don't, if anybody knows where to get a copy of Ensemble that works with this Brother personal desktop publisher, that would be amazing. I would love to hear from you. It's got a lot of stuff on it. You can draw. So it has a very, very paintbrush-like program. And like I said, as you saw, that's so slow. It takes a good while for it to catch up with you. But yeah, I'm going to need a disk again, of course, to save this. And it needs the GEOS operating system disk in order to do that. But let's go ahead and close out of here. There's one more thing I wanted to show you about this. Not only can you type and make spreadsheets and do an address book and have a planner and read some kind of ebook, whatever they had in the 90s that was the equivalent of an ebook. There's also a typewriter function where it'll print pages as you type them. You get a calculator, a desktop reference, a scrapbook, a file manager, and there's also a video game on it. When was the last time you heard of a piece of hardware that was for word processing that actually had a graphical game built in? I have no idea how to play this game. I've never played Turnabout before. I think that's what this is called. I'm going to try to reboot this thing really quick so you can see the 720K of RAM, or whatever it is that it has. There it is, 704K of system RAM. Now, being that I'm pretty sure the operating system is written onto a ROM, there's nothing bad about just turning it off and turning it back on. I don't think there's actually a way to shut it down. I think in software, I think you just have to reach over and flick a switch to turn it off. But it's a really interesting piece of equipment, and I've had it for a while, and I come back to it every now and then and just play around with it. And it's a pretty neat little piece of equipment here, so I thought I'd share that with you guys today. Well, that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any information about this, please feel free to reply in the comments below. I would love to hear from you, and I'd love to hear from you if you have any discs that would actually work with this, or if you know where I can get some. So thank you so much for watching Retro Tech Toys. I hope you're all having a wonderful day. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy the content, and check out our official website at retrotechtoys.com. And there's also a Twitter account. Thank you so much for watching Retro Tech Toys. We'll see you next time.